The less you do, the more you achieve. Written and published by Sonic Digest. In the modern world, the idea of doing more to achieve more dominates. It's a notion deeply ingrained in the culture of work, where busyness is often celebrated as a badge of honor, and overworking is seen as a necessary path to success. We are constantly bombarded with the pressure to be more productive, to multitask, and to fill every minute with action. Yet, despite all this effort, many find themselves feeling burnt out, unfulfilled, and stuck in a cycle of endless tasks with little to show for their efforts. There exists a paradox that challenges this relentless pursuit of more. The reality is that achieving more doesn't always require doing more. In fact, it often demands the opposite, doing less, but doing it with focus and intention. It's not about how much you can cram into your day, but about the quality of what you do. When you strip away the unnecessary and focus on what truly matters, the path to accomplishment becomes clearer and more effective. At its core, this approach is a return to simplicity. Simplicity is not about cutting corners or avoiding hard work, but about honing in on the most important tasks, the ones that truly drive progress. In a world cluttered with distractions and noise, the ability to focus and prioritize is more valuable than ever. It requires the courage to ignore the trivial and concentrate on the essential, to step away from the culture of overwork and embrace a mindset of purposeful action. The relentless pursuit of more is a trap. Society glorifies multitasking and the hustle, but it fails to acknowledge that spreading yourself too thin leads to diminished results. The human brain is wired for deep focus, not for managing multiple tasks at once. When we try to do everything, we dilute our energy and attention, resulting in mediocre outcomes. By contrast, when we focus our efforts on fewer, more impactful actions, we tap into a more powerful, productive state. This book is about helping you break free from the mindset that equates busyness with success. It's about showing you a better way to work, one that prioritizes quality over quantity and helps you achieve more by doing less. Imagine a life where you are no longer caught in the whirlwind of constant activity, where your work is both meaningful and efficient, and where your time is spent on things that truly matter. Chapter 1: The Myth of Busyness. In today's fast-paced world, many equate busyness with success. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that the more packed our schedules, the more productive we must be. We're often led to believe that constant activity is a sign of progress, that those who juggle the most tasks and spend the longest hours at their desk are destined for greatness. However, this misconception overlooks a critical truth. Being busy doesn't necessarily mean you're being productive. Busyness is often mistaken for productivity because the two can look the same on the surface. We see people racing from meeting to meeting, responding to emails in real time, and working late into the night. It seems like they're getting things done. But in reality, busyness can often be a mask for inefficiency. The person who is constantly busy may not be focusing on what truly matters. They might be moving in many directions, but without clear purpose or direction. Their energy is spread thin, and their actions lack the depth needed to make a meaningful impact. True productivity is not about doing more things, but about doing the right things. It's about intentional action that drives you closer to your goals, rather than mindlessly checking off tasks on an ever-growing to-do list. There's a significant difference between filling your time with work and making your time work for you. The most productive people understand that it's not the number of hours you put in, but the quality of those hours. The idea of busyness is closely tied to the culture of overworking. Over the years, society has developed a dangerous narrative that working longer hours and pushing yourself to the limit is the only way to succeed. We celebrate the image of the tireless worker, constantly available and always on the grind. Yet, This glorification of overwork comes at a steep cost. The constant pressure to do more erodes both physical and mental health, leading to exhaustion, stress, and ultimately burnout. Overworking not only drains our energy, it diminishes the quality of our work. There's a point at which the returns from additional hours begin to diminish. As fatigue sets in, our ability to think clearly, solve problems creatively, and make effective decisions declines. We become less efficient, and the extra time we spend working yields little to no benefit. In some cases, overworking can actually lead to mistakes that take even more time to correct, creating a vicious cycle of inefficiency. The emotional toll of overworking is just as significant as the physical toll. Constantly being in a state of busyness can leave us feeling disconnected from our true passions and values. We lose sight of why we started working in the first place. Instead of enjoying the process and taking pride in meaningful achievements, we become trapped in a cycle of stress and overwhelm. Relationships suffer, creativity dries up, and the joy that comes from fulfilling work is replaced by anxiety. The culture of hustle has fueled this dangerous mindset. Social media and pop culture are filled with messages that glorify the hustle, those who are always working, always grinding, always chasing the next goal. We've been conditioned to believe that success requires sacrificing sleep, personal time, and even our well-being. It's a message that's hard to ignore when we see successful entrepreneurs, athletes, and influencers sharing their stories of how they worked 18-hour days to get where they are. But while these stories can be inspiring, they often omit the burnout, the struggles, and the eventual realization that unsustainable work habits cannot lead to long-term success. Society's obsession with the hustle has created a distorted view of what it means to achieve. The hustle culture prizes quantity over quality, speed over substance. It encourages people to measure their worth by how busy they are, rather than by the impact they make. This mindset leads many to believe that the path to success is simply to work harder than everyone else, without considering whether that hard work is moving them in the right direction. The truth is, working harder is not always the solution. The key lies in working smarter. This means being selective about where you invest your time and energy. It's about recognizing that some tasks are more important than others, and that focusing on the high-leverage activities that truly drive results is far more effective than simply staying busy. Working smart involves prioritizing, delegating, and finding ways to streamline your efforts so that you can accomplish more in less time. Understanding the difference between busyness and productivity is essential to breaking free from the myth of busyness. When you start to value progress over activity, you begin to see the power in slowing down, reflecting, and focusing on what really matters. The most successful people aren't those who do the most. They are those who make the most of what they do. Chapter 2. The Power of Less. In a world where the prevailing belief is that more is better, there exists a profound truth. Less is often more. This simple yet powerful idea challenges the conventional wisdom that success is the result of endless effort, long hours, and a constant state of action. The reality is that focused, intentional action, often much less than we think, is the true driver of meaningful results. Understanding this concept begins with recognizing the power of focusing on the few things that truly matter, rather than dispersing energy across many. One of the most well-known principles that illustrates this is the 80-20 principle, often referred to as the Pareto principle. It suggests that 80% of results come from just 20% of efforts. This pattern is seen in various aspects of life, from business and economics to personal productivity. In essence, a small portion of what we do leads to the majority of our outcomes. The challenge is to identify and focus on that critical 20%, the high-impact activities that truly move the needle. When applied to your work and life, the 80-20 principle urges you to shift your attention away from the noise the endless to-do lists, and the distractions. Instead, you focus on the essential. This means identifying the tasks, relationships, and activities that produce the highest value and dedicating the majority of your energy there. It's a radical departure from the idea that success is about doing more. It's about doing less, but doing it with precision and purpose. The tendency to believe that working harder will automatically lead to better outcomes is challenged by another fundamental concept, the law of diminishing returns. At a certain point, the additional effort you put into something no longer yields proportionate benefits. In fact, continuing to push beyond that point can be counterproductive. It's like studying for a test. The first few hours of preparation are highly effective, but after a certain amount of time, your ability to absorb information starts to decline. The same is true in other areas of life and work. There's a point at which adding more effort doesn't just stop producing better results, it starts to detract from them. This understanding is critical because it shifts the focus from quantity to quality. More time, more effort, more resources. These don't necessarily equate to better outcomes. Knowing when to stop, when to step back, and when to rest is just as important as knowing when to push forward. This doesn't mean avoiding hard work, but rather recognizing that the quality of your effort matters more than the sheer quantity of it. The idea of less is also deeply connected to the philosophy of minimalism, which has gained popularity in recent years. Minimalism is often thought of in terms of decluttering physical possessions, but its application goes far beyond that. Minimalism, when applied to work and life, is about stripping away the excess and focusing on what truly adds value. It's about clarity and intention. It means learning to say no to the things that distract you from your true priorities, whether those distractions come in the form of tasks, commitments, or even thoughts. Minimalism in work doesn't mean cutting corners or doing less for the sake of doing less. It means carefully choosing the projects, clients, or goals that will bring the most impact and joy into your life. By saying no to the many distractions and unnecessary obligations that fill up your time, you create space for deep, focused work on the few things that truly matter. The result is not only greater productivity, but also a sense of peace and fulfillment that comes from knowing you are spending your time wisely. In life, minimalism means learning to value experiences and relationships over material possessions. It's about investing time and energy in the things that bring genuine happiness and growth, rather than chasing after more stuff or more status. When applied to time management, minimalism encourages you to prioritize rest, reflection, and meaningful activities over mindless busyness. It's about creating a life that feels full, not because it's packed with things to do, but because it's filled with purpose and intention. The idea that less can lead to more is not a rejection of ambition or hard work. It's about recognizing that the path to success doesn't require endless striving. Instead, it requires focus, clarity, and the ability to let go of what's unnecessary. When you understand this, you stop wasting time on tasks that don't matter, and you stop chasing goals that don't align with your true values. In practice, this might look like spending more time on fewer projects, but making sure those projects are the right ones. It might mean dedicating more energy to fewer relationships, but ensuring those relationships are deep and meaningful. It might mean working fewer hours, but doing work that is more aligned with your strengths and passions. In all cases, the goal is the same: to do less, but to do it with greater impact. Ultimately, embracing the power of less allows you to live and work in a way that is both more productive and more fulfilling. By focusing on what truly matters, you free yourself from the constant pressure to do more and instead create the space needed for real success. Chapter 3: Prioritization and Essentialism. In a world filled with constant distractions and endless demands on our time, the ability to focus on what truly matters has become a rare and valuable skill. Essentialism is the practice of relentlessly pursuing less but better. It is about stripping away the trivial and focusing on the vital few. By embracing this philosophy, you take control of your time and energy, allowing you to make space for the things that are most important, both professionally and personally. At its core, essentialism is about discerning the critical from the trivial. It requires a disciplined approach to life and work, one where you continuously ask yourself, is this the most important use of my time and energy right now? It's not just about doing less for the sake of doing less, but about eliminating the distractions and non-essentials that keep you from your highest priorities. In the pursuit of essentialism, less truly becomes more, because every action you take is intentional and purposeful. To practice essentialism, the first step is identifying what is truly essential. This means getting clear on your goals and understanding what will bring the most value and impact in your life. Prioritization becomes the guiding principle of how you allocate your time and resources. When you're clear about your priorities, decision-making becomes easier because everything is evaluated against those core objectives. But identifying priorities isn't always straightforward. It requires introspection and honesty about what you truly value. Many people go through life chasing what they think they should want: status, wealth, approval, only to find themselves unfulfilled. Essentialism calls for a shift away from external validation and towards internal clarity. It's about aligning your actions with your core values and long-term vision, rather than being pulled in 100 different directions by the demands of others or societal pressures. One technique for identifying your priorities is the practice of deep reflection. This involves regularly taking time to assess your goals and asking yourself what actions will have the most significant impact in achieving them. It's important to differentiate between tasks that feel urgent and those that are truly important. The urgent often disguises itself as important, demanding immediate attention, but ultimately contributing little to your long-term objectives. The important, on the other hand, may not always feel pressing, but it holds the key to meaningful progress. Once your priorities are clear, the next challenge is learning to say no. In a world that celebrates busyness and equates saying yes with ambition, saying no can feel uncomfortable, even selfish. However, saying no is a crucial aspect of essentialism, because every time you say yes to something non-essential, you are saying no to something that truly matters. It's about setting boundaries and protecting your time and focus for the things that align with your goals. Saying no effectively requires a mindset shift. It's not about rejecting opportunities or people for the sake of it, but about acknowledging that your time and energy are finite resources. By saying no to lesser commitments, you are creating space to say yes to what matters most. This practice helps you stay focused on your essential priorities without being distracted by the noise around you. When you say no, you are making a conscious decision to honor your goals and values. You're refusing to let your time be consumed by tasks that don't serve your purpose. This discipline of saying no isn't about shutting out the world, but rather about creating the necessary boundaries that allow you to focus on your essential work. It is a form of self-respect and respect for your vision. By saying no to distractions, you give yourself permission to be fully present for the work and relationships that truly matter. In embracing prioritization and essentialism, you are choosing to move away from a reactive life, one dictated by external demands, and towards a proactive life, one that is centered on what you have deemed most important. It is a practice of constant refinement, where you regularly reassess your commitments and realign them with your priorities. Essentialism is not a one-time decision, but a way of living that continually guides your choices and actions. This approach does not suggest that you should withdraw from responsibilities or avoid challenges. Rather, It advocates for a strategic approach where you invest your energy into fewer tasks, but at a higher level of quality and impact. It is about mastering the art of doing what truly counts, instead of scattering your attention across a multitude of tasks that only drain your resources without bringing meaningful results. When you prioritize essentialism, you are choosing to do fewer things, but to do them better. You give your full attention to the projects that have the greatest potential to create the results you desire. The power of essentialism lies in its simplicity. By focusing on less, you achieve more, because every action you take is aligned with your purpose and goals. Chapter 4. The Art of Focus. In an age where distractions are omnipresent, focus has become one of the most valuable skills we can cultivate. Our minds are constantly pulled in different directions by notifications, emails, and the endless stream of information. Yet, the secret to achieving more with less effort lies in the ability to concentrate deeply on one task at a time. It is through mastering the art of focus that we unlock our full potential and produce our best work. There is a common belief that multitasking is the key to efficiency. Many pride themselves on juggling multiple tasks at once, convinced that it leads to greater productivity. However, research has repeatedly shown the opposite to be true. Multitasking fragments attention and leads to lower quality work. The human brain is not designed to switch rapidly between tasks without a cognitive cost. Every time you shift from one task to another, there's a lag, a mental reset, that hinders deep concentration. The result is not only reduced productivity, but also increased stress and a feeling of constant busyness without meaningful progress. In contrast, single tasking, focusing on one task until it is complete, enables you to harness the full power of your mind. It allows you to dive deeply into your work, bringing all your attention and creativity to bear on the task at hand. This kind of focus leads to higher quality output and a greater sense of satisfaction. When you are fully engaged in a task, time seems to flow effortlessly, and your work becomes both more enjoyable and more effective. The distractions fade into the background as you become immersed in the present moment. One of the most profound experiences of focus is entering what is known as the flow state. Flow is a mental state where you are completely absorbed in what you are doing, to the point where everything else fades away. In this state, time seems to disappear, and your performance reaches its peak. Flow occurs when the challenge of a task is matched by your skill level, creating a perfect balance that pushes you to excel without overwhelming you. It is in the flow state that some of the most remarkable achievements are made, as your mind operates at its full capacity with minimal effort. Achieving flow requires eliminating distractions and fully immersing yourself in a single task. It's not something that happens by accident. It requires intentionality and structure. This is where the practice of time blocking comes in. Time blocking is the process of dedicating specific periods of time to focused, uninterrupted work on a single task. By carving out blocks of time in your day to focus solely on one project, you create the conditions necessary for deep work and flow. Time blocking works because it establishes clear boundaries. When you know you have set aside a dedicated block of time to focus on one task, it becomes easier to resist distractions. The mental energy that would normally be spent switching between tasks is instead channeled into sustained, focused effort. This allows you to make significant progress in less time, as you're no longer wasting energy on distractions or task switching. During these blocks, the goal is not just to complete tasks, but to achieve a state of deep concentration, where your mind can operate at its most efficient. To make time blocking effective, it's essential to eliminate potential distractions. Turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and create an environment conducive to focus. The key is to give your full attention to the task at hand without interruption. Over time, This practice of deep work strengthens your ability to focus, allowing you to achieve more in shorter periods. Focus is not just about productivity. It's about reclaiming control over your time and attention. In a world full of distractions, the ability to concentrate on what truly matters is a superpower. By embracing single tasking, cultivating flow, and practicing time blocking, you not only increase your output, but also enhance the quality of your work. This level of focus allows you to operate more effectively, make better decisions, and ultimately achieve more with less effort. Chapter 5. The Importance of Rest and Recovery. In the relentless pursuit of success, rest is often seen as a luxury, or worse, as a sign of weakness. Society tends to glorify those who burn the midnight oil, who sacrifice sleep and downtime in the name of ambition. Yet, the truth is that rest is not the enemy of achievement. It is one of its most powerful allies. Without adequate rest, both the mind and body eventually reach their limits, leading to burnout, diminished creativity, and poor decision-making. True high performance is sustainable only when balanced with proper rest and recovery. Rest plays a pivotal role in fueling creativity and innovation. When the brain is constantly engaged, it doesn't have the space or freedom to make new connections, explore alternative ideas, or process information at a deeper level. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history have occurred not while individuals were hard at work, but during moments of rest. The subconscious mind continues to work behind the scenes, solving problems and generating insights when given the chance to wander. By taking time to step away from work, you allow your brain to recharge and make creative leaps that wouldn't happen under constant pressure. There is also an undeniable connection between rest and problem solving. When you hit a wall with a task, stepping away for a break often leads to the clarity needed to overcome the obstacle. This is because rest gives the brain time to consolidate information and approach challenges from a fresh perspective. It is during these moments of stillness and recovery that you can gain new insights, enabling you to return to your work with renewed energy and a sharper mind. Pushing yourself to keep going without rest only leads to diminishing returns, where the quality of your work suffers as exhaustion takes its toll. Equally important is maintaining a balance between work and personal life. The boundaries between these two spheres have become increasingly blurred, especially in an era of constant connectivity. However, creating clear distinctions between work and personal time is critical for long-term success. When work begins to encroach on every aspect of your life, not only does it affect your personal well-being, but it also impacts your productivity. Achieving great things in your career should not come at the expense of your health, relationships, or overall happiness. Establishing boundaries allows you to show up fully in both areas, ensuring that neither is neglected. The art of work-life balance lies in the ability to recognize when to step away from work and invest in rest, relationships, and personal growth. Many people falsely equate longer working hours with greater success, but the most effective individuals know when to draw the line. When you set aside time for rest and recovery, you return to your work more focused, energized, and capable of performing at your highest level. It is not about sacrificing one for the other. It is about finding the harmony that enables you to excel in both. One of the most critical elements of rest is sleep. Sleep is not just about physical restoration. It is essential for cognitive function, memory consolidation, and emotional regulation. Studies have shown that sleep deprivation impairs decision-making, creativity, and even basic motor skills. In contrast, adequate sleep boosts productivity, improves focus, and enhances problem-solving abilities. Despite the demands of daily life, prioritizing sleep is one of the most effective ways to maintain high levels of performance over the long term. Regular breaks throughout the day are just as important as a good night's sleep. The brain cannot maintain peak focus and efficiency for hours on end without rest. Short breaks, even as brief as 5 to 10 minutes, have been shown to improve concentration and prevent mental fatigue. These moments of rest allow your mind to recharge, helping you stay sharp and engaged throughout the day. Incorporating regular breaks into your routine is not a sign of laziness. It is a strategy for maximizing productivity and avoiding burnout. The key to true achievement is not working nonstop, but understanding when to pause and recharge. Rest is not an indulgence, but a necessity for sustaining long-term success. It allows you to bring your best self to your work with more creativity, focus, and energy. Without rest, even the most ambitious goals become unattainable, as the mind and body can only function at high levels for so long before they need recovery. Rest and recovery are, in fact, essential ingredients in the formula for high performance, ensuring that you are equipped to reach your full potential without sacrificing your well-being. Chapter 6. Delegation and Automation. The ability to delegate is one of the most powerful yet underutilized skills in achieving more with less effort. It requires the realization that doing everything yourself is not only unnecessary, but counterproductive. By trying to maintain control over every task, you end up spreading yourself too thin, reducing the quality of your output and limiting your capacity to focus on what truly matters. Effective delegation isn't about simply passing off tasks. It's about empowering others to contribute their strengths, freeing you to concentrate on high-impact activities that drive greater results. To master the art of delegation, you must first shift your mindset from control to trust. Many hesitate to delegate because they fear that others may not perform to their standards or that they will lose control over key aspects of their work. This fear can keep you trapped in a cycle of overwork, preventing growth and progress. The key is to surround yourself with competent, trustworthy individuals who can take ownership of specific tasks and responsibilities. Delegation is not an abdication of responsibility, but rather an investment in a team's collective success. When you assign tasks to the right people, you create a system where everyone operates in their area of expertise, resulting in higher quality work across the board. In the modern world, technology offers a vast array of tools for automating repetitive and time-consuming tasks. Automation, when used effectively, can drastically reduce the amount of manual effort required to maintain productivity, allowing you to focus on creative, strategic, or higher-level pursuits. The first step in leveraging technology for automation is identifying the tasks that are routine or low value. These might include scheduling meetings, sending reminder emails, data entry, or managing simple workflows. Once you pinpoint these areas, you can implement software or systems that handle these processes seamlessly, requiring little to no ongoing input from you. Automation doesn't just save time, it also increases consistency and reduces the margin for human error. For instance, automating email responses or using project management tools to track progress can ensure that key tasks are completed on time, without the need for constant oversight. When implemented properly, automation acts as an extension of delegation, enabling you to achieve more with less manual effort. It's important, however, to not fall into the trap of automating for automation's sake. The goal is to free up time for high-value activities, not to become overly reliant on systems that may not always serve your bigger objectives. Building a support network is another crucial element in the quest to achieve more by doing less. No individual succeeds in isolation, and the most effective people surround themselves with a strong team of collaborators, mentors, and peers who can offer insight, assistance, and encouragement. Whether you're a professional, an entrepreneur, or a leader in any capacity, having a support system of capable people allows you to delegate with confidence, knowing that others can help carry the load. This network doesn't only consist of employees or direct reports. It could include business partners, freelancers, mentors, or even friends and family who offer different perspectives and skills. A critical part of building this network is recognizing the strengths of those around you and aligning their talents with the tasks that need to be accomplished. Each person brings unique abilities to the table, and by tapping into these strengths, you enhance the collective power of your team. Delegation becomes not just about getting things off your plate, but about creating opportunities for others to thrive in their areas of expertise. As you build and nurture a strong support network, you also gain the ability to scale your efforts, multiplying the impact of your work without increasing your personal workload. An often overlooked aspect of delegation and automation is the personal freedom it creates. By entrusting others and relying on systems, you reclaim time and mental space that can be devoted to deeper thinking, innovation, and personal growth. This shift allows you to step back from the day-to-day grind, giving you the room to strategize, plan, and make better decisions for the long-term success of your projects or organization. Delegation and automation are not about doing less for the sake of laziness. They are about optimizing your energy and focus so that you can channel them into the areas where they will have the greatest impact. At its core, delegation requires self-awareness, knowing where your strengths lie and where others can complement your efforts. It also demands humility, as you must be willing to admit that you cannot and should not do everything yourself. Leaders and high achievers understand that their role is not to micromanage every detail, but to steer the ship, guiding the vision while empowering others to execute. When you master the art of delegation, you free yourself from the burdens of unnecessary tasks and create a thriving environment where everyone can contribute their best work. In today's fast-paced world, the combination of delegation and automation is a game changer. It allows you to operate with greater efficiency, reduce stress, and increase the quality of your output, all while maintaining balance and well-being. By embracing these tools and strategies, you gain the ability to achieve more in less time, focusing your efforts on what truly matters and letting go of what doesn't. Chapter 7. The Mindset Shift. The way you approach work and life begins in the mind. To achieve more by doing less, you must first embrace a mindset that supports this counterintuitive approach. One of the fundamental shifts needed is adopting an abundance mindset, which is rooted in the belief that success does not require endless toil and struggle. It is about recognizing that opportunities are not scarce, and you don't have to constantly chase after them with frantic energy. Rather, when you focus on what truly matters, leveraging your strengths and resources wisely, you can achieve more with less effort. An abundance mindset is not simply about material wealth or external success. It's about understanding that time, energy, and creativity flow more freely when you are not consumed by the need to do everything. It's the belief that there is always enough time to do what's important, as long as you prioritize effectively. When you approach life with this mindset, you open yourself up to possibilities that you might have overlooked in a state of busyness or stress. Instead of being overwhelmed by a long to-do list, you become intentional about where to invest your time and effort, trusting that you will accomplish what truly matters. A key aspect of this mindset shift is learning to let go of perfectionism. Many high achievers fall into the trap of believing that success is only possible if everything is done perfectly, down to the smallest detail. This drive for perfection can lead to excessive effort on tasks that don't actually contribute much value, resulting in wasted time and energy. When you embrace the idea that progress is more important than perfection, you free yourself from the paralyzing pressure to get everything right. You begin to understand that imperfections are part of the process, and that often, good enough is more than sufficient to achieve meaningful results. Letting go of perfectionism also means accepting that not everything needs to be under your control. Perfectionists often struggle to delegate, fearing that others won't do the job to their exacting standards. But this mindset holds you back from maximizing your potential and leveraging the strengths of those around you. When you allow others to take responsibility and contribute their own ideas, you create a collaborative environment where progress can happen more quickly and efficiently. By shifting your focus from control to trust, you open the door to greater possibilities and higher productivity. Another crucial element of this mindset shift is reframing your understanding of failure and success. In a traditional view, failure is something to be avoided at all costs, while success is seen as the ultimate destination. But when you adopt a mindset of simplicity and focus, you begin to see failure as a natural part of the journey toward success. Every setback or mistake becomes an opportunity to learn and improve, rather than a sign that you need to work harder or longer. This approach allows you to take smart risks, knowing that even if you don't succeed immediately, you are moving closer to your goal with each attempt. Reframing failure also frees you from the fear of making mistakes, which can often lead to overworking in an attempt to avoid errors. When you understand that failure is not the opposite of success, but a stepping stone to it, you stop wasting energy on tasks that don't matter or obsessing over details that won't have a significant impact. Instead, you focus on taking bold, strategic actions that align with your goals, trusting that the lessons learned from any failures will ultimately contribute to your growth. Success, then, becomes less about reaching a final destination and more about the process of continual learning and improvement. When you let go of the need to achieve in a rigid, predefined way, you allow yourself the flexibility to explore new approaches, test different strategies, and pivot when necessary. This adaptability is key to achieving more by doing less, as it allows you to remain focused on what's truly important without getting bogged down by distractions or unnecessary tasks. Ultimately, this shift in mindset is about embracing simplicity and intentionality in every aspect of your work and life. It's about recognizing that doing more does not always lead to greater success, and that the path to achievement is often more direct and efficient when you clear away the clutter of unnecessary tasks and perfectionistic tendencies. By adopting this mindset, you empower yourself to work smarter, not harder, and to create a life of purpose and fulfillment without the constant pressure of overwork. The less is more mindset allows you to focus on what truly matters, making space for creativity, innovation, and meaningful connections. It is a powerful shift that can transform the way you approach both your personal and professional life, leading to greater success, deeper satisfaction, and a more balanced, intentional existence. Chapter 8. Case Studies of Successful People Who Do Less. Throughout history, many high achievers have demonstrated the power of focusing on less to achieve more. By narrowing their efforts and focusing on what truly mattered, they were able to accomplish extraordinary things. These examples not only highlight the effectiveness of doing less, but also serve as inspiration for how simplifying your approach can lead to significant results. One such individual was an entrepreneur who revolutionized multiple industries by consistently identifying the most impactful areas to focus on. Rather than spreading himself thin across numerous projects, he zeroed in on just a few key ventures at a time. This approach allowed him to drive innovation, while avoiding the distractions that come with trying to manage too many things at once. His clarity of focus enabled him to build some of the most successful companies in the world, by emphasizing depth over breadth. The lesson here is that selective focus, paired with consistent execution, can create breakthroughs in any field. Another example is a best-selling author known for producing timeless works by adhering to a rigorous yet minimalist schedule. Despite producing fewer books than many of his peers, his works had a profound and lasting impact. By concentrating on fewer projects and devoting his energy to crafting them meticulously, he avoided the burnout that often plagues creative professionals who try to juggle too much. His success teaches that it's not about how many things you take on, but how deeply you engage with the ones you choose to pursue. A prominent CEO known for turning around struggling companies provides another powerful example. Early in his career, he learned that trying to address every issue at once led to mediocre results. Instead, he adopted a laser-like focus on just a few key metrics that would drive the company forward. By simplifying operations and cutting out the non-essential, he was able to lead multiple companies to unprecedented success. His approach was about simplifying complex processes, delegating effectively, and ensuring that his attention was always on what would yield the greatest return. The story of an influential artist highlights the value of saying no in order to protect creative energy. Despite having countless opportunities to collaborate or expand his brand, he turned down most offers to focus on his core work. His refusal to be distracted by every new opportunity allowed him to refine his craft and produce art that stood the test of time. His disciplined approach is a reminder that true mastery comes from dedicating yourself to fewer things and doing them exceptionally well, rather than trying to be involved in everything. Another renowned thought leader exemplified how stepping away from excessive busyness can unlock higher productivity. Rather than being overwhelmed by the demands of managing multiple projects, he built a structure around his time that prioritized rest, reflection, and strategic thinking. His schedule allowed for periods of intense focus followed by deliberate breaks, ensuring that when he worked, he did so with clarity and energy. This balance between work and rest enabled him to achieve far more than if he had been constantly on the go. What ties these individuals together is their understanding that success is not a product of relentless activity, but of mindful, strategic action. By recognizing the power of doing less, they were able to focus on high-impact tasks, avoid burnout, and create lasting legacies. These case studies show that whether you are building a business, creating art, or leading a team, the principle of less is more can be applied to achieve greater outcomes with fewer resources. Each of these high achievers understood that achieving success requires not just hard work, but also the wisdom to choose the right work. Their stories emphasize that simplifying your focus, delegating effectively, and protecting your time and energy are key elements in driving sustainable success. Chapter 9. Actionable Strategies for Doing Less and Achieving More. To truly harness the power of doing less and achieving more, practical strategies are essential. These strategies help streamline your approach to work and life, allowing you to focus on what truly matters and maximize your productivity. Here are some actionable strategies to implement these principles effectively. Daily planning for maximum impact. Effective daily planning begins with setting clear priorities. Start each day by identifying the 1 to 3 tasks that will have the most significant impact on your goals. These tasks should be aligned with your broader objectives and have the potential to drive meaningful progress. By focusing on these key activities, you prevent your day from being derailed by less important tasks. This targeted approach ensures that your efforts are directed where they will produce the greatest results. Begin your planning process by reviewing your long-term goals and breaking them down into actionable daily tasks. Each evening or at the start of your day, make a list of the most critical tasks that align with these goals. Limit your focus to a small number of tasks to avoid overwhelm and ensure quality execution. Prioritizing in this way helps maintain clarity and prevents the common trap of filling your day with busy work rather than impactful actions. Batching tasks for efficiency. Batching tasks is a technique designed to improve efficiency by grouping similar activities together. This approach minimizes the time and cognitive load associated with context switching, the process of shifting from one type of task to another. For example, designate specific blocks of time for handling emails, making phone calls, or performing administrative tasks. By concentrating on similar tasks during set periods, you can work more efficiently and reduce the time spent transitioning between different types of work. Incorporate batching into your routine by creating a schedule that includes dedicated blocks for specific activities. Avoid spreading these tasks throughout the day, as this can fragment your focus and decrease overall productivity. Instead, reserve uninterrupted time slots for each type of task, allowing you to complete them more quickly and effectively. This approach also provides you with clearer boundaries between different types of work, helping to maintain a structured and productive workflow. Mindful scheduling. Mindful scheduling involves intentionally planning your day to include not only work periods, but also breaks and downtime. Recognize that sustained focus is more productive when balanced with regular rest. Schedule short breaks throughout your day to recharge and prevent mental fatigue. Additionally, set aside time for deep work sessions, where you can concentrate on complex tasks without interruptions. Consider implementing techniques such as the Pomodoro technique, which involves working in focused intervals followed by short breaks. Alternatively, plan longer periods of uninterrupted focus with extended breaks in between. Ensuring that your schedule includes time for relaxation and reflection can help maintain high levels of productivity while avoiding burnout. Leveraging time for high-impact activities. To achieve more with less effort, it's crucial to use your time wisely. Allocate your most productive hours to high-impact activities that align with your primary goals. Identify the times of day when you are most alert and focused, and use these periods for your most challenging tasks. During less productive times, handle routine or lower priority tasks that require less cognitive effort. Regularly evaluate how you spend your time to ensure it is aligned with your goals. Conduct periodic reviews to assess whether your daily activities are contributing to your desired outcomes or if adjustments are needed. By consistently aligning your time with high-impact activities, you enhance your efficiency and effectiveness. Streamlining communication. Effective communication is essential for reducing unnecessary work and ensuring that time is used efficiently. Simplify your communication processes by setting clear guidelines for meetings, emails, and other forms of correspondence. Use concise language and establish protocols to minimize back-and-forth exchanges. Consider using tools and platforms that facilitate efficient communication and collaboration, such as project management software or team messaging apps. By optimizing your communication processes, you reduce the time spent on coordination and enhance your focus on meaningful work. By implementing these strategies, you can embrace the principle of doing less while achieving more. Prioritizing tasks, batching activities, scheduling mindfully, and optimizing your time are all effective ways to streamline your efforts and focus on what truly matters. These practical approaches will help you maximize your productivity and achieve your goals with greater efficiency and less stress. Conclusion: embrace the power of less. In today's world, where busyness is often equated with productivity, it is crucial to recognize the profound impact of doing less and focusing on what truly matters. The principles explored throughout this book illustrate that success is not about the sheer volume of activity, but about the quality and impact of your actions. The journey through this book has unveiled several key principles for achieving more by doing less. The myth of busyness. Understanding that being busy does not necessarily equate to being productive. Recognizing the distinction between genuine progress and mere activity can transform how we approach our tasks and goals. The power of less. Emphasizing the importance of focusing on the vital few tasks that generate the most significant results, as opposed to spreading oneself thin across numerous trivial tasks. This principle underscores the value of prioritization and simplicity. Prioritization and essentialism. Embracing essentialism involves removing non-essential tasks and focusing solely on activities that align with your core objectives. This approach helps in channeling your efforts where they have the most impact. The art of focus. Highlighting the advantages of single-tasking over multitasking and exploring methods to achieve a state of deep focus that leads to greater productivity and satisfaction. The importance of rest and recovery. Recognizing that rest and recovery are integral to sustained high performance. Proper work-life balance and adequate sleep are crucial for maintaining creativity, cognitive function, and overall well-being. Delegation and automation. Learning to delegate tasks and leverage technology for automation frees up time for more meaningful work. Building a support network and utilizing tools to handle repetitive tasks enhances efficiency and productivity. The mindset shift. Adopting an abundance mindset and letting go of perfectionism. Viewing failure as a stepping stone and focusing on progress rather than perfection enables taking calculated risks and achieving success without unnecessary strain. Case studies of successful people who do less. Exploring real-life examples of individuals who have achieved remarkable success by focusing on fewer but more impactful tasks. These case studies illustrate how less can indeed be more when aligned with strategic priorities. Actionable strategies for doing less and achieving more. Implementing practical strategies such as daily planning, batching tasks, mindful scheduling, and optimizing communication. These techniques are designed to streamline efforts and maximize outcomes. As you close this book, take a moment to reflect on the insights gained and consider how they can be applied to your own life. Start by identifying one task or commitment that you can eliminate or delegate today. This small step will help you experience the benefits of focusing on what truly matters. Gradually, as you adopt these principles, you will find that achieving more with less becomes a natural part of your routine. Transitioning to a lifestyle of focused achievement requires intentional effort and mindfulness. Begin integrating these practices into your daily life and observe how they transform your approach to work and productivity. The journey toward a more fulfilling and effective life starts with making conscious choices about where to invest your time and energy. Success does not necessitate a constant flurry of activity. Rather, it is achieved through purposeful and intentional action. By embracing the power of less, you unlock the potential for greater achievements and a more meaningful, balanced life. Your path to success and fulfillment lies in focusing on what truly matters and aligning your efforts with your highest priorities.